It's like we're about to go live. Hey, what's up, YouTube? Welcome to Play Paint and Live. Hope you guys are having a fantastic Wednesday evening. Here we go with another one of these. This time we're back on Zoom, and I'm going to just toss an invite out to some folks. Let me know if you are interested in joining the conversation, and I will send you an invite over to our over to the Zoom so that you can join in the conversation. All right, so there, that should have happened. Tonight we are painting some Walking Dead. So you can see I just started base coating the inmate here. Let's make sure that goes there. There we go. So yeah, this is what's going on. Hey, what's up, Nelson? Hey, Geek Maximus. How's it going, guys? Yeah, so I just started kind of blocking out the colors for these for the inmates. So we'll get going. Once again, if you would like to hop in and chat in the Zoom chat room with me live, let me know, and we'll get you an invite to join the Zoom. Okay, so this guy, I'm calling him White Power Bill because he's super funny to me. White Power Bill is just the most hilarious inmate name for some reason. And then, you know, then we got this guy here. He's off for a jog. You know, he's got places to go. So this this painting is going to be interesting because I was asked not to use contrast paints. So so it'll be interesting. These models may look a little flatter than what I'd been painting recently, but that's kind of, they're going to be more reminiscent of my older style, which can be cool as well. So anyways, yeah, we're making some headway on this Walking Dead commission. And I figured let's hop on for a little bit, say hi to the peoples, and take it from there. These miniatures are interesting. You know, one thing I'll say about these Mantic minis is they have larger heads and actually much more realistic proportions for bodies than a lot of miniatures that I'm used to painting. So a little more realistic as far as looking like actual people. Oh, these were characters. I didn't even know these are characters. His name is Dexter, but White Power Bill is his person name. White Power Bill is actually a reference to Arrested Development, the TV series. For those of you who watch that TV series, it's a very, very funny TV series, but I will say that a lot of the humor is kind of specific to Orange County. So if you live in Orange County, you know, just understand that Arrested Development is basically a walking Orange County joke. The series takes place in Orange County, and they reference a lot of places that are actually real. You know, they just kind of rename places off of other places based in Orange County. And White Power Bill is like one of my favorite characters, like side characters on that show, I guess. All right, so let me, if I probably have screwed up some of these characters then, because I don't know. I saw this guy's his hair, and I was like, I couldn't tell if they were just like long, shaggy hair. I thought they were dreadlocks, so I kind of, you know, obviously went with the African American skin tone because I thought maybe that was his character. So if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. because I thought these were just sort of like generic prisoners. So we got that guy. We got Paul Schaefer from David Letterman fame. He just reminds me of Paul Schaefer. Paul Schaefer with a shank, basically. Yeah. Can I just admit something that I've always found Letterman and Paul Schaefer to be profoundly grating. I just I just find them to be grating. Like I never thought they were funny. Like it was always shocking to me the number of people that absolutely love Letterman. People went nuts over his little top 10 lists, and I used to watch that in like, you know, people in high school, the witty people, the people that thought they were witty. Oh, you see Letterman top 10 lists, and they would get all, and I would go, that shit is like 5th grade humor. Like what? It is not fun. Here's the thing. I like 5th grade humor when it knows it's 5th grade humor, right? Letterman was kind of going for like witty, kind of witty, like fake intellectual shit, and that just doesn't fly with me. So it's like if you're gonna be intellectual and have witty jokes, like you better actually have some good witty jokes, you know. And Letterman, and I'm sure Paul Schaefer, probably one of the nicest people on earth, but like literally, what was his job? What was his job? Can we be real? What did Paul Schaefer do? He you know, he played keyboard for the band and had to laugh at Letterman's jokes. You know, maybe I should be sympathetic for the guy. I mean, if there was a steady paycheck in laughing at David Letterman's jokes, I would be this guy. I would wear those glasses. I would be him. You know, he's Paul Schaefer. He actually now that I keep looking at him, he really does look like Jeffrey Tambor from Arrested Development. I should have just painted these characters to be the actual prison characters from Arrested Development because I do not watch The Walking Dead. But anyway, we're still calling him Paul Schaefer for now. So here's Paul Schaefer. Paul Schaefer. Seriously, is Letterman funny, guys? Jimmy Fallon is not funny. The guests he has on his show and the stuff he does, occasionally entertaining, but I don't find him funny. I definitely don't think what's his name is funny. What's that dude? Used to be on the Man Show, but now he's like not. He's just dumb. What's that guy's name? You know what I'm talking about. Jimmy Kimmel. Yeah. Jimmy Kimmel is he's just painfully unfunny to me. This late night shit is just not funny to me. Who's the other guy? The British guy, the like chubby British guy that everyone, oh, he's hilarious. I do not think any of these late night guys are funny. I don't know. Like we're straight into it and I'm already bitching about something. I don't think they're funny. I don't think the late night guys are funny. Look at these comedians working from aren't even funny. No wonder their budgets are millions. Yeah, sorry. I don't think any of those dudes are funny. The only guy that, well, no, that's not true. I can watch some Craig Ferguson from back in the day, like the late show. I would watch some Craig Ferguson because Craig Ferguson is, again, not terribly funny. But he I guess he just, to me, he seemed like the most genuine of those kind of late night dudes. And I did like his sort of like back in the day, he would have the female guests on and there would always be like this little, they would always have these little flirty moments. And I'm like, dude, you could never do that kind of stuff these days. But at least the the kind of flirty banter and stuff, like that was entertaining to watch. But you know, nowadays you can't do that. With the two exceptions I think I mentioned before. There are two exceptions to you can do that sort of, like, you can do overt sexual stuff on these, like, you know, we'll just call them China-owned corporate media. Can we just be real? Can we just be real? Let's just call it everything now. We'll just call it all that. I mean, we probably should have put the dots together, connected the dots together a little sooner, but yes, China owns all our corporate media, in case you haven't noticed. But anyway, we'll we'll leave that for now. I don't know if you're trying to keep this stuff in frame. I'm gonna turn this down a little bit because it looks like some of this stuff isn't all in frame. So more like that. There we go. This guy here is just Santa Claus. I'm calling him Santa. He's inmate Santa is mad. He just got the fisticuffs like this. It's like, yo, inmate Santa. But no, I just thought late night hosts were they're just not funny. It's weird. I guess it's because I don't really understand late night TV. The closest I ever got to watching late night TV was like when I was in junior high and I watched Arsenio Hall. That was, I watched the Arsenio Hall show. That's about as close as I ever got. And I mostly watched the Arsenio Hall show for like the musical guests. His name is Axel. This dude, this Santa Claus guy, is Santa Claus Axel or is Paul Schaefer Axel? Am I upsetting a bunch of Walking Dead fans? This is gonna be like Gloomhaven. They get super mad at me because I don't know what anything is. So I just call stuff random things and then make people upset. Here, let's geez, stop sending me. All right. So let's work on his obviously very simple design here. Let's block out his colors and then we'll figure out how to shade him down. Again, with no contrast paints. We're back to where we were a year and a half ago before contrast paints came and made life way faster for doing this kind of work. Okay, Santa Claus guy is Axel. Axel's pretty damn cool, I must say. He's pretty cool. All right. Let's paint Axel's boots, his shoes here. He's gonna have good old prison brown shoes. You may be able to hear my 3-year-old playing in the background. My kids have been on a terrible sleep schedule since we've been in quarantine. Like I'm sure a lot of you may have been. He got caught dealing prescription drugs. Oh, that's a bummer. Oh, Santa Claus, he's just a smooth, pimped out player from the streets just trying to get his, right? He don't mean it. He don't mean no harm. You tell him, Axel. You tell him. All right. The axle's like only 3 colors. That's the good news. So we can work on axle and the 4 prisoners. One thing that's nice about this old school painting style, like I made a little mistake there, very easy to correct. The kid's freaking out. What's he mad about? He's mad. Let's see. I don't even know what he's mad about. Sometimes he just gets frustrated with the way life works. You know, I feel that. I feel that, son. All right. And let's clean up. We'll do a little bit of cleanup right here. All right, axle. Do they point out in the show that he looks like Santa Claus? I mean, he does look like Santa Claus, right? All right. Okay. But you can see just how like flat the colors are when you're just color blocking and not using contrast paints. You know, it's a little flat, but the one thing, like I said, it's way easier to control. Like you can get everything right out of the gate. It's kind of nice feeling. I missed that feeling. All right, we'll work on Axel here and just kind of tune him up, and then we'll get going on the other guys here. I can show you guys some of the other minis too, because the horse stuff is just about done, and then I also have a tiger to paint, and then I have what's his name? Ezekiel, I think is his name. You guys tell me. Is it Ezekiel? I don't know. So I'm gonna highlight. We're gonna highlight Santa's hair here. Ho ho ho! Prison fighting. Ho ho ho! My man Paul Schiffer has a shank for you. A shank just for you. Look at him go. Like he's gonna land it on you. Now in the show, he's a skinnier dude and his beard wasn't as long. They effed him over because he got shot in the head out of. He wanted Rick's prison as a safe place. Damn that evil governor. Damn that evil governor. All right. Okay. I'm gonna let the main part of his body dry for a minute. And I'm gonna use this white, since we're on the white, to paint some Glenn on horseback. Check out Glenn. Glenn Ree. I'm Glenn Ree. And he has that hat he has that white hat with the dark visor. So I based this color scheme directly off of some photos from the show. So you got some Glen Rhee here on him on his horse. I'm just gonna do. There we go. There you go. Okay, so you can see Glen on horseback. We got Maggie on horseback. Still needs her shirt needs a little love. It's like some of the purple didn't land the way it was supposed to. Looks way better in stupid orange. Yeah, because the studio art had these two wearing orange tops. So they were like wearing half of like inmate gear. And I gotta get this right there. There we go. All right, Maggie. Maggie! Okay, so then we got Maggie, we got Glenn, we got Rick. Little Indiana Jones theme here going for Rick. And then he has this like police duffel bag. So I'm just gonna brighten up the letters in police here so it's easier to make that word out. Right, just easier for people to see. So he has a police duffel bag full of weapons. And he has a little hatchet in his hand there. I wish the Maggie and Glen horses were also plastic, because resin, I just don't like resin. And take this from somebody that I paint a lot of Guild Ball that's resin. I paint a lot of night models that are currently resin. You know, I've painted Harry Potter that's resin, Rumble Slam's resin. So many miniatures are resin. Arena Rex. I think resin is terrible, frankly. I think it's not a good, I do not think it's a good medium for casting miniatures. Just do that. I like the denim here on Rick's model. The denim turned out to be pretty good. You can see it's like nice and worn there. And it's even kind of dirty in spots. And then he has some like 5 o'clock shadow. It's kind of hard to see. There you could see some of it. Okay. So those guys are well underway. And then the last thing I can use this white on is going to be, what's this guy's name? Ezekiel. So when I first saw this guy, I thought he was straight up Native American. So I painted his skin more of like a reddish brown Native American, and then Nelson sent me the pictures of him. I'm like, oh, okay. I've seen this guy on some of the previews and stuff and didn't put 2 and 2 together. So he is a much elderly He's a much elderly black man, not a Native American. I thought he was just like a Native American sort of chieftain. But no. He is more African. So he needs a highlight here on his hair. So I'm glad that you got me the artwork, because I was headed down a totally different direction with this character. Right. And if I don't, if I don't get the character right, then like what's the point of it being like Walking Dead? Why would you do that? Anyway. So he's actually the least painted guy out of this group. Just kind of started on him. Let's go back and do a little more detail on these guys. So let's go back. Let's do some detail on White Power Bill. His name is Dexter, man. It's not White Power Bill. Look at me stereotyping just because he's a white guy with no hair and in prison, that I automatically assume if you're in prison, you got to be part of a gang, and if you're a white guy in prison, you got to be part of the the white supremacist gang. If you're in white power gang. Man, that's actually pretty bad. I that's not good to be stereotyping like that. That said, I really still love the name White Power Bill. It's a great name, man. Give me a break. I think all prison stories need to have a character named White Power Bill in there. White Power Bill rocking the shotgun. Click, clack, clack. He's ready. He's ready to take him down. And here's the thing. White Power Bill's shoes, they're not brown. They're not going to be brown. He's going to wear dark shoes. So I will use a custom wash on all these to make them look a little dingier. But you can pretty much see where I'm going with the characters so far. I'm glad you're liking this. You're liking them, Nelson. These are I'll tell you right now, these are more fun to paint than I thought they would be. Because Mantic miniatures, to me, tend to be kind of on the dull side. But it's still fun to look at that mistake. Is that a giant mistake? Still fun to paint stuff like this, especially if it's like all the characters and stuff. So you're seeing me apply basically the color to the characters, and you're seeing them come to life before your very eyes. And you're like, that guy's not White Power Bill, it's Dexter. I'd say, shut up, White Power Bill. Then he would get Paul Schaefer to shiv me. That's what That's exactly how this whole thing would go down. Hey, buddy.
Yeah.
You want to say hi?
Yeah.
You're talking to this mic.
Okay. Hi.
That's Octavius, guys.
Yep.
I'm gonna, I actually should seal your mini, dude.
Oh, but you don't have to do it right now.
All right, can I do it when some of these are done?
Yeah.
All right.
In fact, you should do it when the video's done.
When what's done?
When the video's done.
Oh, when the video's done? Maybe.
I should be asleep by now.
You should definitely be asleep by now.
I can't sleep.
It's okay.
Because
I got that other tablet out for you. You can watch the tablet if you want to chill and relax. Yeah. It's actually in pretty good shape. All right. It does. All right. Then we got my man here. I don't know his name. He's kind of awesome too, though. I'm just gonna call him. He will shank you in pres. I'm gonna call this guy Magnitude. I'm gonna call him Magnitude because Magnitude is one of my favorite characters in Community. Oh, Nelson says hi to you, Octavius.
Hey.
Hey.
I'm playing Toka Kitchen 2.
Oh, you're playing Toka Kitchen too. That's a fun one. Yeah, this is Magnitude. His name means magnetic attitude, and he's famous for the saying, pop, pop. Pop, pop. So every time you see Magnitude, he always comes in and says, pop, pop.
Wait, Dad?
Yeah.
Yeah, the model actually itself kind of looks like, what you would call it, the miniature of, Ferrite in the blacksmiths, right? Right?
Not Ferrite. He looks kind of like a male Cinder.
But Cinder has a crossbow.
True.
It's in the same.
Oh, Ferret's in the same pose. That's true. Good point, kiddo.
Yeah, and they have the same hair.
Octavius, yes, that is correct. You got the second. You guys spelling right on the second. He does not have an O at the end of his name. O-U-S. It's just I-U-S. Yeah, and he got the sniper rifle. This dude. This dude right here. This dude I'm painting.
Oh, okay.
Who I've nicknamed Magnitude. So, funny story. Magnitude is actually played by one of those actors in the original. He's like in the original Harry Potter film. Oh, kind of messed up a little bit. Ooh, messed up a little more here. It's a weird tight little corner right here around his shoulder. Get the shoulder strap correct. Okay. So Magnitude, pop, pop. Pop, pop.
Well, remember the paintball episode is when Trey's like, pop, pop, what?
Oh yeah.
He's just like,
Please tell me, you guys, during your quarantine time, you queue up a little Community. Specifically watch the first 3 seasons because those are the best seasons. I promise you, you will not regret it. Especially season 1 takes a little, takes a little build up. Characters start off pretty normal, and then by the time you're in season 2, you've hit full stride, and you're really starting to see, what this cast of characters can do. Like, allow yourself that. Indulge yourself. If you're stuck at home, you want to watch something that at least I think is top to bottom funny. That is not afraid of itself. It's not afraid to be funny. Isn't afraid to offend people. Actually has attractive people in it. Okay, all right. I'm gonna go full shallow. Full shallow. F's in the chat if you don't like me being shallow, but I'm just saying, man. I watched. Okay, I'm just gonna say this. My wife had some Netflix series on that she watches and she thinks it's funny that I thought was just absolutely horrifyingly atrocious. Okay, it was atrocious. I could not laugh once. I didn't think it was funny at all. The people were hideous, like hideously, just not even pleasant to look at, and they weren't funny, and it was just, and the whole thing was written in these like really short little vignettes that had this awful like fake hip hop interlude music every time, and it's some like Canadian show on Netflix, and it was just awful. And I was like, how can you watch that? Like, it didn't even meet the standards for TV. It was like watching a high school play that had that had access to expensive cameras. It was that bad. All right, back to Paul Schaefer here. Does he? Paul Schaefer's not even wearing a belt. He's just got a shiv. That's all we need to know about Paul Schaefer. But the thing is, I'm just saying, like, for back in the day, I'm gonna be old man, but back in the day, there were, and you guys might get super mad about this, but there were like standards for people on TV. Yeah, people on TV were more attractive than you. They were taller than you. They were prettier than you. They were, they represented the higher echelon of glamour and attractiveness and all this kind of stuff. And I've heard and understood all the arguments about, we want to see people that look like us on TV. I'm not one of those people. I don't need to see me on TV. I know what I look like. I need to see people better looking than me. I need to see people, like, I need unattainable standards. I like unattainable standards. And they say, oh, you don't have that because it's unattainable standard. No, show me the unattainable standard, right? Let me dream. Let me dream. You know what? These people on TV are better looking than I will ever be in my entire life. And you want to know something? I'm okay with that because yeah, they and they can act and they can sing and they can dance and they can do all this stuff. And guess what? That's fine. Give them the big paycheck. They're entertainers. They're attractive people. Attractive people make the rest of us, at least some of us, anyways. They make us no, but they make. You're funny, Octavius. They make us. I don't know. For me, it's always been comforting. You see like attractive people, and you're like, yeah, those people. That's the attractive woman, right? That it makes me feel better. Like, yeah, look at that. Smiling. And I know that's super duper super offensive. It really is. People don't like that. Oh, we want to see more people that look like us on TV. No, I don't. I see you in real life. I'm not turning on another, TV is escape, it's fantasy. I don't need to see. We all know to quote real science. We all know the fantasy. Wait, sorry, I already screwed up. We know the reality. quit messing with the fantasy. That's my point. It's fantasy. Let's enjoy fantasy. It's okay. Like, allow yourself to enjoy fantasy. Anyways, Community. You should totally watch it. All those people that are like, oh, Rick and Morty. Well, guess what? The guy who made Rick and Morty, one of the first things he worked on in TV, Community. Okay? So if you like that kind of humor where it's very meta and you know, and it's got a reference within a reference within another thing, and you have to be this smart to see it. Well, Community was what started all of that. And Community is not, doesn't have nearly the toxic fandom that like Rick and Morty has. So go enjoy yourself some Community is what I'm saying. It's a great show. More people should watch it. And just so you know, like what funny shows were like back in the day. Octavia said they make us feel bad. They make us, oh, they don't make you look bad. They make you they don't make you feel bad. They make you look bad.
No, it makes you feel bad.
Does it make you feel bad to see attractive people?
I guess.
Does it?
Well, I'm not sure what I said.
Well, you're an attractive person, so you wouldn't know, would you? Like, you haven't seen, right? You're a good looking little kid. You don't, I don't know. I'm gonna argue with my 6-year-old son on YouTube. It's gonna be great. All right. All right. So all the prisoners are color blocked, but now we got to shade this stuff because it's just not, right? See how flat it is? It's just not there. All right. Normally you could do this with a contrast paint, but we're not using contrast paints. Oh my gosh, we're so hindered. What we are going to use is we're going to use Armor Wash. We use a little Armor Wash, and we're going to use a little glazed medium. And we're going to.
Dad, why are you using medium when you have very little?
Because I'm planning to refill my glazed medium, son.
Eventually?
Yeah. But you guys tell me, like, I will fully come out and just admit that what I'm saying is very shallow. But I'm gonna say that I'm an older, unevolved human being, and I liked TV. I liked the fantasy in TV. I don't want to see people, you know, that are less attractive than the standard I used to have growing up. And you know, I used to hear that from, I think it's just a growing old thing, right? Because I used to hear that from like boomers would see things, and they would see these like when I was coming up, they go, in our day, you know, Hollywood women had glamour, and they had poise, and they had grace, and they had style, and you know, think about like my generation growing up, where the generation before had, you know, they had Rita Hayworth and Raquel Welch, and they had, I guess to an extent, Marilyn Monroe, and you know, and that being their Hollywood, and my generation had like Madonna, ugh, and you know, and that kind of stuff. So relative to them, the older generation would be like, your celebrities don't have the kind of poise and grace and style that ours did, and I totally get that. And you know, there's parts, and I'm like, so coming up, it was like, you know what, but I'm attracted to my generation's, you know, sex symbols and celebrities and whatnot. Even though I never really liked Madonna. Always found Madonna to be grating. Could not stand Madonna. Still think she's even worse now. but that's kind of the same thing, right? You see the younger like generation of stars, and you're like that person looks like, especially where we live in California. It's like every third person you see is more attractive than the people you see on TV. Am I right? Oh, hey, what's up, Atomico? Back in the day, we would hit the gym and try somewhat look like the actors or heroes, even though we knew we couldn't get like that. Yeah, no, you're right, right? I totally agree with you, Atomico. I think, yeah, I mean, it's like, yes, we knew that was an unattainable standard, right? And you're like, yeah, this guy's playing uh, Arnold Schwarzenegger is playing Conan the Barbarian, and we have we have these like crazy ripped out um, action heroes, and you'll never look like them, but that's okay. We're like, it was actually kind of funny. You'd flex in the mirror, you know, you'd bench your max weight or whatever, right? After being at the gym, then you'd get in the mirror and you'd flex your little 13-inch bicep. And you'd be like, yeah, I'm buff like Arnie, dude. Yeah, I'm the next Dolph Lundgren. I can do the splits like Jean-Claude Van Damme and all this stuff, right? It was never, oh my God, I'm gonna ruin my whole life because I'll never meet these standards. Now don't get me wrong. I think that there there's a difference between that and the sort of toxic uh, imagery that a lot of young women were exposed to in the late 90s, early 2000s. And I'm talking specifically about heroin chic. You guys remember heroin chic from the late 90s, early 2000s, the whole Kate Moss thing. That was not just unrealistic, that was unhealthy, right? If you remember Cindy Crawford. Remember, there were the supermodel age with Cindy Crawford and Paulina Porskova and Elle Macpherson and um, that sort of thing. And it was like, wow, these women they're just unnaturally beautiful. They were just unnaturally like gorgeous. And I don't think that those women, and I mean, images of those women were very difficult, I think, for some women to kind of absorb and go and just kind of accept. Yeah, okay, you never really, no matter what you do, you'll never look like Cindy Crawford or whatever. That was one level of this, poor self imagery. Then you had, but then they took it a step further in the late 90s, early 2000s. When they were, when they were going for, when the fashion industry was going for models that were like, barely 75, 80 pounds. Like I said, Kate Moss, probably being the most famous of that era. But I remember that era and thinking to myself, like, I actually had discussions with my wife about this. I'm like, back then when it was high fashion pushing all this stuff, there was not a man I knew that thought any of that was attractive. Men did not think that level of unhealthy, skinny was attractive. Not like your regular Joe guy, right? And when you hear like the songs about, hey, fat bottom girls and all about that bass and all that stuff, and you're like, this shouldn't be news to anybody who's talked to your average man. Like that's not, yeah. Guys like they like their women to have a little bit of meat on them. They don't, that unhealthy, um, that like dangerously skinny aesthetic was not, that was not a male gaze thing. That was a fashion industry thing. And for, for the whole, I guess, the average maledom to be held accountable for that is kind of bull. right? No man put Kate Moss at the top of their list, for beautiful women or whatever. They didn't do that. It was the other supermodels I was talking about. It was, Christy Brinkley. It was it was stuff like that. And that's the late 90s. That was really where to me it was like, wow, that they really missed the boat there. That's not, at least that's not what me and I guess other red-blooded average dudes found attractive, and we think it's bad, and that's super bad imagery to be selling to young women, that they need to look like that toxically thin. It's I don't know. I'm just saying, we had like any other Gen Xer, I think it's our duty to inform all the millennials and the Gen Z and all that everything we had was better. We just have to explain it to you guys. Our toys were better, our movies were better, our songs were better, our celebrities are better, our models were hotter. Yeah. Yeah, you can be mad about it if you want. Sure. I always go back to to Morpheus pointing out that in the Matrix, pointing out that 1999 was the peak of human civilization, right? You put Kate Upton. Yeah. See, that's the thing. Like a Kate Upton, there you go. That's a model that the dudes be getting behind, and like, yeah, more of that, please. But not this like hyper skinny, or what or going the other way. This you're not even allowed to say like, hey, that's dangerously obese. You're going, it's not healthy. Back then, the average girl looked like Selena, the Tex-Mex singer that J-Lo played years. Yeah. I remember Selena. So I remember how wrecked the whole like the Latin LA disco community was when Selena went down, when she died. And then it was cool. They made a movie about her, and then obviously that was J-Lo's like big. That was like her big debut, really. Although J-Lo has done some. I don't remember. She did like small bit acting just prior to that, but that was really her kind of breakout role. Okay, I gotta look at some photos here of Ezekiel. Okay, so let's see. So Ezekiel, he's got the kind of the same amount of like that blue gray to him, and then a little bit of fur on the coat there. He's got a green vest. He's got gold chains, dark boots. He's wearing like half gloves. And then this thing, is his scepter supposed to be gold, or is it wood? Do you know? Let's start with the kind of, he's got kind of a pastel green vest. Let's start there. It's actually not quite that color. Is it? How different are these colors? They're not different enough. It's okay. I was looking at, that's an effect paint. That's kind of the right color, but not. All right. I don't know. Is it bad to have? Okay, let's actually, no, here's the way I'm going to frame this, because if I were to say that I had visual standards for what I find attractive like it was something novel, I'm not actually framing the scenario right. The true scenario is that everybody, whether they want to admit it or not, everybody has visual standards for what they find attractive. It's just that some of us admit that we do, and other people would deflect admitting that they do by criticizing people like me, by criticizing people that that are like, hey, I think, I think Kate Upton's, I think Kate Upton's hot or whatever. There's people that come out in public and just chastise you. Oh, you have an impossible standard for. Well, yeah, dream big. My wife and so many other women are like, look at this Chris Hemsworth guy, or look at Jason Momoa and all that. And they're like, yeah, okay, sure. Yeah, he's a good looking guy, whatever. Right? We're not just like forcing them to not admit like that they don't have a visual, that they have visual standards for what they find attractive. Hey, what's up, Nathan? No, I'm saying the very controversial opinion that people have visual standards for what they find attractive, whether they want to admit it or not. It's just, yeah, I know it shouldn't. That should not be a. It really should not be a controversial thing to say, because it's not a controversial thing to say. It is just fact. Anyway, what was the original point of this? Oh yeah, watch Community. Yeah, this talk is too real for my gamer brain. That's the end point that I was making. Watch Community. It's a good show. It's funny. Not afraid to be what it is. All right. He is rocking the gold chains. Look at that. Tell him, Ezekiel. Look at that, man. All right. So we're going to go there. How did this topic come up? Oh, I was just saying that I forget exactly, but it was something like I was watching one of my wife's, like, the shows that she watches on Netflix. It's some Canadian Canadian sitcom show, and just how awful it was, and it wasn't funny, and it was jarring to me to see that entire cast was just made up of just very unlikable and, yes, unattractive people. Watch Community except for when they moved to Yahoo. Well, you know what, Albert, I did watch the 6th season when they moved to Yahoo. And when I first watched it, I hated it. But when I watched it again and kind of admitted to myself that this was in fact a different show, and that I should not, I think Community, the show, is best regarded in two different modes. There is, oh yeah, she liked that show. She thought it was like, I couldn't laugh a single, I just didn't think it was funny. I was like, what the, I just feel, I don't know if I would normally feel bad for these people, but they're very unlikable. They're very petty. Anyways, I was being very judgmental uncle watching that show. But yeah, if you're watching Community and you get past season 4, you probably need to stop and tell yourself that post Donald Glover, it's a very different show, and you're just going to have to accept it. It is a lesser show, in my opinion. It's not definitely a massive drop in quality once Donald Glover is off the show, but it's still an okay show in my opinion. You just have to accept it as a different show. What are you watching, kiddo?
It's a game though.
You're watching gameplay?
So I am playing a game.
Oh, you're playing a game. Oh, that's that one game that you used to play that.
Yeah, the shooting game.
Yeah, it's weird. Different strokes. Yeah. It's I guess the post Donald Glover community is it's more about kind of watching certain characters evolve. Like for example, I really liked. It's really interesting to go back and watch the Britta character. Probably, in my opinion, probably the most developed character in the entire series is Britta, and how you know when they started the show, how she was really just sort of the boring love interest character, and she really turns into a very interesting kind of fully fleshed out human being by the end of the series. And I thought that was really neat, I think that alone is kind of worth watching the final season. um, I think what they do to Abed is basically terrible, like it's like borderline criminal, because he's just without Donald. Well, two things kind of happened to the Abed character. Like, you know, Donald Glover was gone, and they couldn't effectively replace Abed's sidekick with Annie. Um, and and then then Dan Harmon left, and then by the time he came back, uh, the emphasis was on trying to get the show back on its tracks. And I think Abed, the character, just kind of fell by the wayside. But I also think I think Abed, frankly, I think, because he really kind of represents Dan Harmon on the show, he's the character that Dan Harmon identifies with the most. Um, Dan Harmon going through like all the personal struggle and so forth, being away from this show. By the time he came back, he couldn't ever really tap into who he was and who he identified with the Abed character. So I don't. I think that's why the show just is not as good. That said, I liked in the final seasons. I liked Frankie. I thought she was a really good character. There were good characters on that show, but you're not going to get the same Abed back. You're not going to get the same Chang back. Um, Jeff is fairly boring. Like he's oh shoot, I gotta take this. Hold on one sec, guys. Ah,
1 second, everybody.
all right, guys, we're gonna take a quick break. I need to help my wife with something, fixing the TV upstairs. So I'm gonna put this on mute for a little bit, and I'll be back in a couple minutes. Okay, and we're back. All right. So next topic: Disney is an awful, evil corporation and needs to be stopped. Somebody needs to stop these dudes before it's too late. My so my son, my 3-year-old, likes this show called Gigantosaurus.
It's not actually called Gigantosaurus.
It's called Dinosaur Jr., right?
I don't know.
Well, and when you look it up, it's called Gigantosaurus. When you look it up on Disney. Anyways, he likes this show called Gigantosaurus, and so I go to look. So so we go to get him this show, and at first, my wife is like, we need to get Disney Plus because our son wants to watch Gigantosaurus, and it's a Disney show. And I'm like, gosh, shit. Like, I'd been avoiding getting Disney Plus since Disney Plus came out. I think Disney Plus is evil. I think everything associated with Disney is awful and evil and needs to burn. Like, if there is any corporation that does not deserve any love or sympathy or respect, Disney is gonna be like one of those companies for me, right? They ruin everything that you love and hold dear as a fan of modern entertainment. They're the worst of all time, basically. Anyway, so I'm like, fine. My kid wants Gigantosaurus. We're gonna get him Gigantosaurus. So I sign up for Disney Plus, which is basically, it's just pure evil. Here's, we own you. We're gonna charge you all this money. You'll never get rid of us. You're basically, we basically control your life because your kid wants to watch our stupid show. So, no, I actually do not hate Amazon as much as I hate Disney. Like, Amazon is the reason why we did not have to hit the grocery store during this outbreak. When the whole when we were all shut down, it's because my wife had an Amazon monthly subscription, and we had enough supplies for the month by the time the lockdown started. So, like, I got to give Amazon some props for that, at least. Anyways.
Mom said Amazon for so long.
Yeah. But Disney, on the other hand, so I get Disney Plus. I sign up for the thing. We fire up Disney Plus. I'm like, okay, here it is. There's the Mandalorian. Ah, crap. Here's this other stuff.
The Mandalorian.
And then I look for.
That's really ridiculous.
Octavius, you're not part of the podcast. So then, just kidding, son. He's just watching this thing anyway. Anyways, so we go through, we find out that they don't even carry. You can't even get Gigantosaurus on Disney Plus. You want to know why? Because they stuck it on Disney Now. Okay, what sort of garbage bull is that? Why would you even, if you're Disney and you're offering a streaming service and you have Disney, you have a Disney cartoon and you don't offer it on Disney Plus? What kind of absolute, oh man, my son is in the room. I can't even use the profanity that this deserves. But seriously, Disney Plus, I couldn't find it. So you couldn't find Disney Plus on that. Couldn't find stupid Gigantosaurus on Disney Plus. So we had to get Disney Now. And so my wife calls me upstairs. This is 2 seconds ago. She calls me upstairs to tell me that they no longer, that they can't even get the rest of the show, the episodes back on Gigantosaurus, right? It had like season 1, like 23 episodes or whatever. And they made it to episode 23 and you can't even go back and watch the previous episodes on Disney Now. And I'm willing to bet, and I didn't look into it, but I'm willing to bet that it's some bullshit like you have to pay for Disney Now plus Advantage Disney schlong in your mouth in order to watch one stupid show. They're the devil. They are the devil. They're evil. You know, they're not to be trusted. They're everything that is wrong with the world, basically. Right? I hate Disney with like a passion. Hate them. All right. What else? Let's do the rest of the color blocking on this guy. Yeah. There is no fate that is too bad for Disney, in my opinion. If there is a state that's worse than bankrupt, then Disney should be there, and they should be there often. Like it should just be a constant reminder of how awful and evil they are. Disney is so bad, they've ruined their own classics. They took all the stuff that you liked about Disney and made it into live action movies and other just retcon trash to like ruin everything that you liked about them to begin with. Like, what is left to redeem about Disney? I want to see, because I know that there are people that literally worship Disney that can't go another second without that Disney D ramming them in the back of the throat. And I want to know, like, how do you defend Disney? Can you name one thing that Disney has done right in like the past, I don't know, 5, 10, 15 years? Because they've taken all those stories and wrecked all of those. They've taken basically advantage of every parent and every kid. I don't know. I know you guys are Star Wars fans, and I'm not a Star Wars fan.
I'm a Star Wars fan.
But
I mean, still, you just thought that they kind of ruined Star Wars.
But I mean, look at what Disney. Do you want to say? Yeah, they bought out Star Wars, and they bought Marvel. They're buying DC too, right? I think they are.
No, they're not.
That's a rumor that they might buy DC. And you're already seeing like how they intend, how the Marvel Cinematic Universe is going to get wrecked in the next few movies. They don't really have a good path forward. And you kind of seen how Disney operates with their IPs, basically with Star Wars, right? Marvel fanboys are going to be mad at me. From a money-making perspective, they did it very right. Oh, yeah, for sure. I'm not going to argue that. But it's because they bought things that they understand consumer behavior, right? Consumer behavior, we've now conditioned humans to be so brand loyal that all you have to do is own a property and put up a familiar thing to people, and they will just slam you in the face with money, right? That if Disney and Hollywood had taught us anything, it's that as long as you remind people of something that they once liked, you can basically just make them pay for whatever and give them the worst possible product. Oh, the episodes from, yeah, we actually were watching. So that's where he was watching it originally, was on YouTube. And so my, yeah, that's where he found it. And then my wife was like, no, we need to have Disney Plus and all this stuff. And that's what caused all this. But like I said, go cancel Disney Plus. Well, I definitely do need to cancel those. All right, we'll let this dude dry for a sec. Well, yeah, finish. Should I do something, Nelson? Should I do something else to the vests? I know we can't do stars, are just a little ridiculous. I'm not gonna sit there and paint stars. We could do like stripes. Do you want to do stripes? Do you want me to do anything to kind of break up this green here? Because it looks pretty naked without anything. Like I could do, if we wanted to, I could just do, I could do a stripe. It doesn't have to be a lot, but just to break up the pattern of the vest. Right? Yeah, that does actually looks kind of bad. Even though I can see it coming in, it may not be. Oh, it is just paint. So if we don't like it, yeah, it doesn't look that good. It actually kind of throws off. Yeah. Maybe if the stripes were a different color. Maybe if we did. Not yellow though. Yellow didn't look good for stripes. I mean, with those kinds of stripes, you might as well just paint the stars in. Let's let that dry. Let that dry for a second. Let's do a quick little shade. I have a homemade wash here. I can do a shade on his little scepter, and I can do the little shade here on his scepter, and then we can wash the blue denim jacket and all this stuff. Let's do shoelaces. Yeah, I just wonder what Disney's gonna ruin next. Luckily I pretty much hate everything now. So pretty much. I don't hate Community, but Community is very safe from Disney. All right, Disney, there's no actual money making potential. Disney was more likely to Disney's more likely to get to go after Rick and Morty than they would be to go after Community. The Mandalorian Rogue One was legit. Other than that, Disney really wrecked the trilogy. Well, yeah, I mean, The Mandalorian is doing well mainly because from what we're told, Disney has been pretty hands off with that, right? But now that it's making money, who's to say that the executives aren't going to step in and go, they start throwing their ideas into that. I mean, that's not a Disney problem. That's a industry specific problem with with movie studios. Is the minute a franchise starts making money, then they start investing more money in it, and when they start investing more money in it, then they want more say in what goes on. I mean, there's so many movies. If you watch any of those any of like Good Bad Flicks or any of that, they go behind the scenes on how these movie franchises get wrecked because the first movies the opening movies or whatever do very well, and then studio executives get it in their head that they know how to make it more more and more profitable and better for their audiences, and they really don't. Okay. Stripes are star. I'm still kind of tempted to do stars. I think the stars will look like trash. Rick and Morty's funny, but I don't see the hype. Yeah, I never really got into Rick and Morty personally, but I do understand the Dan Harmon logic, like his his humor and his style. And what I was saying is, like, if you're a Rick and Morty fan and you want to see where that style really came from, you should watch Community. But Community does it in a much more polished, much more polished style. All right, so we're doing a little stripy action here. All right. Oh, oops. Screwed up a little bit right there. Yeah, Aliens. Like, how many franchise? Like, name a bunch of franchises, and how many of them got ruined by Disney executives? So yes, kids, Disney is evil.
Yeah,
Disney is evil. Thank you, son.
I agree, because I hate Disney as well. For no reason.
You hate Disney for no reason.
Because it has bad shows, okay?
They have bad shows? They do have bad shows.
Why is Mickey Mouse like the size of like a bear cub or something?
You're silly.
I actually think about it. And why does Donald Duck have like no pants? Is he naked?
Why does Donald Duck have no pants? Oh man, kiddo. You are funny. You are funny. All right. Few too many stripes, but it's okay. I'm actually going to trace this down. All right. So we're going to turn these into thicker stripes so that they look a little cleaner.
You take the point. What does that even mean?
You take the point means you're up front. Okay. There, now he has kind of a Bill Cosby looking sweater on. The pudding. Come here, my wife. I'll fix that. There's one stripe here that's errant. That's in the way.
I didn't even get it. Like that one. And I literally died.
You literally died, kiddo.
From nothing.
Wow. There you go. It's weird looking. I don't know, man. I guess we just have to straighten him out. Anyways.
How am I dying so much?
Is there anything else like that you guys have been watching that you recommend to watch during this time? Yeah, I'll tell you. I don't know if you guys heard me say this before, but what I've been watching a lot recently has been I've been watching a lot of 3-on-3 basketball, 3-on-3 international basketball, and specifically I like watching the women's division more than the men's division. It's just 3-on-3 is more interesting, I think, with the women's division because it's not as fast. There's more emphasis on defense, because nobody can dunk or whatever. So there's more emphasis on defense and passing and that kind of thing. So it's a more interesting game to watch, in my opinion. So it looks like Sean jumped in. What's up, Sean? Please have something more interesting to say than the topics I've been talking about. Oh, you're in chat. Okay.
Come on.
It's going all right.
Guys in the back keep killing me.
All right. So I'm just doing a little work here to straighten these stripes out. Okay. Getting there. All right. So now, I don't have to print this. Okay. Anyways. All right. I think we're ready to go ahead and give him the dark wash. Give him all his shadows. There we go.
How am I dying? There's nothing there.
Octavius, can you shut the door, please? Thanks, buddy. All right.
I just keep dying from nothing.
You keep dying from nothing?
For some reason. And why is there a cookie right here?
Oh, that's my cookie.
Oh.
Do you want it?
No.
That was my tax for having to go upstairs and fix the Disney.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta give myself a cookie. I gotta treat me. All right. What do you want? All right. Anyways, okay. So here's the tiger, who, as of right now, has only seen an airbrush and a little bit of some initial coating. Can you turn that down, kiddo? Son, turn that down.
Oh, I can't.
Yeah, you can. It's called the volume button. You got this. He's sleeping tomorrow and for the rest of the year. No, these kids are He gave up. We gave up on bedtime. You were supposed to go to bed at a reasonable hour tonight, son.
Sorry.
But it's okay. That it didn't happen. Okay. You got to do some stuff. Good night, Atomico. Thanks for hopping in, man.
I really need to use my grenades.
All right. Let's get this tiger going. This tiger went tiger. All right. So now we're gonna do mostly the underbelly stuff, and we're gonna kind of fade that off into a white. So I need like a bone color. My brush attacked me. Ah. Okay.
Dad,
Yep.
should I use my what do you think I should do? But I can't use grenades. I can't.
Oh.
Like, where should I hide? Behind the truck, car?
You should.
Like a big bin?
What happens if you find out what happens if you run out directly into the open and don't shoot at anybody? Like what happens if you just play like complete peace pacifist mode? And you're like,
then you don't even get to do anything.
What if you tell them it's a gun-free zone and that they need to respect?
You can't even talk.
Oh, you can't. Okay. Huh.
You can't jump.
You would think that would just work, right?
No.
You just telling people it's a gun-free zone. You could just tell people that, and they'll just.
In real life, that would make sense, but not in the
In real life, it would make sense.
I guess.
Don't try it in real life, okay? Never do that. Okay?
Because it won't make sense?
No, because people who want to use guns to harm you, do you think they care if it's a no-free zone, a gun-free zone?
Maybe. No.
No, they don't.
Okay, should I
People want to harm you. So if somebody was chasing you with a knife, could you stop and turn around and go, hey, we don't believe in knives around here? Do you think that would work?
No.
No, it wouldn't.
Dad?
Smart kid. Yeah.
Should I use a pistol on this guy, or should I use a big gun?
I think you should use a knife.
There is no knife.
There's no knife? Okay, well that's no
You
fun.
can only use guns in this game.
Okay. Use the big gun then.
Okay, but it keeps losing. I keep losing with it.
Then use the other gun if you keep losing. Use the pistol then. If you keep losing with the big gun.
Oh, the pistol's good.
The pistol's good? Good. Oh, a kid's blowing up his house and no. When we play Minecraft, we're on just our own LAN server. We don't play on any of the public servers.
Okay, I'm gonna use the big
He's
gun.
probably playing some game that I probably shouldn't approve of. The horror. Won't someone think of the children? Octavius, I told you to turn it down, dude.
I did.
Okay, well, it needs to be at not disgustingly high decibels. It has to be there's a chicken crowing at me. There's all kinds of bad stuff going. Well, yeah. You know what? That game has too much. It has too many chicken crowing.
That's not.
Okay.
That's not even a chicken.
Do your parents know you play this game when there's chickens, like crows crowing at you?
That's a rooster.
It's a rooster, yeah. AKA a chicken.
Roosters aren't chickens.
Yes, they are. They're literally male chickens, dude. Where have you been, Mr. Biology?
Wow.
Yeah, wow, indeed. Get it right, dude.
Isn't that clear that you could just call them? That you should just call them roosters, because that doesn't even make sense.
Roosters refers to male chickens, just like hens.
There's no such thing as a male chicken. That's not.
Okay, you are wrong.
Not a word, dude.
Don't talk over me. You are wrong in a profound manner, and you need to be ashamed of yourself. Roosters are male chickens and hens are female chickens.
Are you serious?
And if you, yes, I am serious. And if you don't got that right, man, just turn it in. That's just it. That's like basic
Male chicken
fact,
is
dude.
not a word. Who says that?
What?
Who
No,
says male chicken?
nobody says male chicken, but they say rooster to denote male chicken, Mr. Genius. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Jeez. How hard it gotta be to explain basic things to you, man? That's right. That's, just so you guys know, this is how we normally banter. It's all good fun. Until he keeps his video game on too loud. Then he's in trouble. Then he is in trouble. Right, Octavius?
Who?
Yup.
Me?
Yup. I'm just kidding. Love you, kiddo.
Where is the enemy? Oh.
Hey, I'm here.
Hey.
My health just went up.
So yeah, I think hopefully tomorrow I'm able to
No,
pick
not.
up some stuff from Comic Quest since over in Azusa area during the weekend is going to be a hard shutdown.
Hard shutdown.
Yeah,
What does that mean exactly? Like you can't leave your house?
they're going to restrict the amount of people going here and there and everywhere. If you're not shopping for food or getting groceries and you're just like roaming about
Oh yeah.
with your homies,
You can't be rolling with the homies.
they're gonna crack down on people. So if this is true, I'm probably gonna go and get some stuff from Comic Quest.
You gotta do it before the lockdown.
Yeah,
That
even
makes
though
sense.
I have like a plethora of stuff here,
Yeah.
it's still kind of like, it's gonna be a month, and at the rate that I'm painting stuff now, it's like, well, that may not last.
Yeah, I've been blowing through stuff pretty quick.
Yeah.
That's cool. So what are you working on right now?
You remember that game that we got at their Extra Life event? The
Yes.
Enactress thing?
Yeah,
I'm
Enchantress.
Yeah, Enchantress. I'm finally painting up that stuff.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Enchantress.
Oh my gosh.
Are the minis good for that?
They're okay. They're decent. They aren't, top of the line. But, I'm doing stuff in order to try to make them look interesting, at least color wise and all that.
That's cool.
Go to this scenario. Wait, no. Let's go to this.
What up, Octavius? Did you kill all the male chickens?
There's no male chickens that you see in the game.
Did you kill the roosters?
I guess you could say
You did?
that.
Okay.
I mean, the guys in the game maybe just making chicken sandwiches.
Why are they? You mean the? Wait a minute. Those are. You saying there's humans that are crowing like roosters in the game?
Maybe.
Whoa. That is a
Sounds like a
different
weird
level of warfare
Hello.
than I've
This is
ever.
not warfare, Dad.
You got people shooting at each other. That's warfare.
There's one good person, and there's like 1, 2,
Yeah, all good.
3.
Mhm.
Let me see.
Nelson, he is tired, but we always like to argue semantics.
Like 5, 6 maybe. There's probably 6 in here.
6 what?
Guys.
6 roosters?
6 probably rooster guys.
There's 6 rooster guys.
Maybe. I
Wow.
don't know how many.
It's a lot of rooster guys.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So what are you planning on getting tomorrow at CQ?
Probably some God tier stuff. I figure buying, games that are fairly fun but simple, especially since my wife is like slowly taking an interest into some of the gaming stuff.
Where am I?
You
That's
know,
cool. I
figure
think,
that's the easier one.
yeah, for sure. I do like that lizard thing. I wanted to get one of those. I might.
Yeah, the lizard's pretty dope.
I'm-
Actually, this sounds weird. Most of the green
Shapers.
shapers, like all the shapers, are pretty dope.
Yeah.
Um, One of the shapers that I want to get, the ability that he has is just in order to remove like well, not boons, but like the disadvantages, and place them onto
X's.
basically the opponent's characters instead.
That's cool.
And I was like, that's kind of strong at like the right point in time.
Yeah, it can be.
Hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna go back and do everything all over again.
And them tiger stripes mean.
Yeah. But yeah, I've been
Have you?
like slowly looking through like the roster of like characters and all that type of stuff, trying to figure out, what are pretty decent characters, what are fun, all that type of stuff.
Okay.
I know
Cool.
I know some of the ones are pretty dangerous that a lot of people probably will buy just cuz.
Yeah.
But yeah, the ones that are pretty fun, although one of them I was like, he's fun, it's just that he's just kind of like not the greatest thing to look at model wise, which is like that giant slime looking
The
guy.
giant poop guy.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
He-
Nelson played that guy.
he's great, but ooh,
That guy's cool. I actually kind of want to paint that guy.
would you like paint him a different color instead of like what most people paint him, which is like skin tone?
Yeah, I want to paint him like Chet from Real Science
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
when he gets turned into the poop.
Yeah,
It's the best.
I would have probably painted him up like Slimer for some reason.
Yeah, you could paint him green and make him like Slimer. I'm a big fan of Chet though.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, like the characters that they have out right now are pretty fun. Um,
Cool.
I think the most boring one of all of them is probably the dwarf, but he does dwarven things.
I just never really got into dwarfs.
Neither did I.
Never.
I have a friend that he loves everything about dwarfs, but that's his aesthetic. The whole hardy, able to fight off evil, that type of deal. It's
Yeah, I
just,
just never got into that. All right, man. We got a woof. All right. Give the woof a really, 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 really mild shade because you don't need much.
Mhm.
Let's see. And again, we're not using contrast paints. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that's gloss. That's
How
gross.
is the orange in the contrast paints? I think
Oh,
that's like
it's fantastic.
it's pretty dope.
Yeah,
Awesome.
it is good stuff. Let's see. I know I have like a light wash I could use here. No, it's too dark. I know I has one.
But yeah, as
No.
of right now, like I'm like tempted to get the lizard or god tier, or I'm tempted to get the archer elf.
Interesting. Oh, yeah, Lorsan, she's awesome. She's actually not as fun as I hope she would be to play, but the
Mhm.
miniature is great.
Yeah.
Oh man, is this the right? Actually, what am I doing? I have an awesome wash right here. It's called P3, baby.
Yep.
P3 gonna make this work.
P3 makes you feel good.
All I'm trying to do is just get these colors to richen up and blend a little bit, and that's it. See, that's all you gotta do. Look at that. P3. P3 making it happen.
I didn't think that would work that well on orange, but I'm surprised.
Oh no, man. Before contrast paints existed, I had all my trust was in P3.
Fair
P3
enough.
inks. I would tell press gangers like P3 inks are way better than you think. No, because their press gangers would be painting with Citadel. I'm like, hey man,
Really? Jesus.
I'm like, you're the press ganger, dude.
I know.
You should know how good your inks are. Your inks are phenomenal. You have the best inks in the market. What? I did that. Epic Haley, shut up. Just paint.
Just paint it.
I'm playing Epic. I'm playing my cricks. Shut up. Use your. Do you know how good your inks are?
Yeah.
I use Butcher Tooth. Shut up. Enough of this P3 nonsense. Just talk about your paints. All right. I think we is there, man. I think we're ready to start the basing.
That's pretty dope.
Come on.
Do it. We're just running the late night.
Yeah, it's the best thing to do. So are you still like on the work schedule or
Yeah.
just like working from home basically?
I'm working from home. I have a daily. I hold a daily department meeting.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a conference call every morning, and then the rest of the day is working out our return to work plan with my boss and with the other with senior management,
Mm-hmm.
and then we're also overseeing some construction happening at one of my labs.
Okay.
So there's stuff to do during the day,
Yeah.
but the breaks are a lot better than they would have been.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
nice to be able to go, I'm going to take a break and prime some models that I plan on painting tonight.
Exactly.
That's quite a nice little luxury to be able to
Mhm.
do. Harlem Gren.
Yeah,
Oh,
because I
shoot.
could imagine like, where you're just like doing your normal job, like it's just, having to do work, family, and then like you try to squeeze in models.
Well, like my son, he does every day he has a little get together with his teacher
Mm-hmm.
on Zoom, and
Yeah.
so we set him up for his little meeting. I do my meetings, and then the little guy just, unfortunately, we just have to keep him entertained.
Occupied. Yeah.
The problem is that, he's been running all kinds of late hours. So
Yeah.
right now, everybody's awake in this house. Everybody's awake except the cat. Cat's
Except
totally
for the
asleep.
cat. The cat's all tuckered out.
Cat's totally asleep. All
Cat's like,
lizards
I'm
are
done with
awake.
this.
Yeah,
I'm done with this mess.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you take care of the kid.
gosh, there's a lot of green guys. But the green guys don't usually attack.
Yeah,
But
this is
yeah.
that's cool. Yeah, I'm planning on picking up some stuff at CQ.
Yeah.
Maybe not tomorrow, but maybe Friday.
How is where you live on like are they regulating stuff similarly down there or is it kind of like
No,
slightly different?
it's actually kind of terrifying.
Really?
I went to I went to my I had to go into my office this week to
Mm-hmm.
get my laptop fixed, and I hopped on the 5 freeway, and it was probably 70 to 80% of what the normal weekday traffic was.
Wow,
And I'm like, what the hell are all these people doing on the road?
that is
Now,
insane.
if you go like my neighborhood,
Mm-hmm.
there's not that many people around.
Okay.
There's not that, but the minute you get into like on the 5 and you start heading into the more, I guess, the more urban areas of
Yeah.
South County,
Mm-hmm.
then it's like people are just like business as usual, and I'm like, that ain't all right, man. This
Business
is
as
not
usual plus
okay.
kids.
Well, just all the people on the road. I was telling my boss about. I'm like, that's
Yeah.
not even okay.
Yeah.
That's just not smart.
Nah. And like, I'm glad that California is doing a lot better than, I guess Florida and New York. Because apparently a lot of people were saying, you're next. And we're like, no, we don't want to be next.
Well, we don't really. Well, the problem is going to be L.A.
Yeah.
Um, all the hyper crowded areas are going to be.
Mm-hmm.
The one good thing about Orange County is that it's all sprawled out.
Yeah. That is
So
true.
so we don't. There shouldn't be a large gatherings of people.
No. But
It's
like
more.
beach towns and all that type of
Yeah,
stuff.
it's more dangerous where everybody's like all out and together. That's the crazy thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's yeah, if you go around here, there's people walking, like they'll walk around
Yeah.
the neighborhood during the day, that kind of thing.
Which is
It's not
fine.
it's
Like,
not that bad. But there's not like an overabundance of people.
yeah,
Everybody's pretty good and mindful about spacing and whatnot.
exactly.
The Popeyes line is full.
Oh, jeez.
The drive-through.
I saw the Popeyes drive-through today. I was like, dear Lord, what happened?
Well, the Popeyes near us is always crowded.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Popeyes is always crowded down here.
Gotta get that Popeyes, I'm off from work.
Yeah,
Only
but
thing
like
that's making me
it's even
happy in
more than
life.
usual. Popeyes and Starbucks are like crazy right now.
The only thing that makes people happy in life is their only norm.
Yeah,
Let
like
me have my norm.
I can't judge. I'm in that line too. Like I mean, my Popeyes. My wife tried the chicken sandwich for the first time today.
What'd she think?
She said it was good, but she didn't feel it was worth the hype.
No, it's not worth the hype. But if you want like a nice spicy chicken sandwich,
I'm
then
like,
cool.
and I was like, it is kind of though. I'm like, as a connoisseur of
the
chicken
chickens.
sandwich, as a man who really likes chickens, it kind of is. It's kind of like the best chicken sandwich I've ever had.
The spicy one, I do have to admit,
I
is
wouldn't,
pretty dope.
like, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't stab anybody
Oh no!
for one, but
Let's
there's
not get
there's a
crazy.
side of me that kind of understands that a little bit.
Just a little.
Just a little bit understand that.
It's like, this is pretty good. I wouldn't stab anybody for it, but it's
I
pretty
don't
good.
stab nobody over it, but gotta admit, I think about it for a hot second. That guy's got a Popeye's chicken sandwich over there. Oh my god.
Like,
Kind of hungry
that was
right
the
now.
last Popeye's chicken.
Yeah.
No, you don't understand. I need it.
I need my chicken.
Get out of my way.
You don't like chicken as much as I do.
Oh gosh. There have been some weird things that have been going on this 2020. Actually, 2019 into 2020. Jeez. War for chicken. Never in my wildest dreams would I expect myself to say that phrase out loud.
The minute they said there were shortages
I know
of the
people lost their
Popeyes
shit.
chicken. Then I knew there was gonna. I'm like, violence is ahead because shortage is basically anytime they say there's a shortage, there's gonna be a riot or some violence, and it
Yep.
doesn't even really matter what it's a shortage of.
Yep.
Somebody's just gonna be violence.
Someone's just gonna lose their stuff and throw a chair through a window, and it's gonna cause a riot.
I need my share of. Wait, what ran out? Oh,
It's like
toilet paper this time. It's toilet paper.
it's like the Boondocks episode. It's like, you know when there's gonna be a riot the moment that someone throws a chair through a window. It's like, oh gosh, you're not wrong. It's like, man, I want this now. I'm so mad. Give me this chair.
Well, riots are probably. I mean, probably gonna see some riots in LA. I would think.
Ugh, God.
Eventually, like there's riots in. There were riots obviously in Wuhan. I think there's civil unrest in Italy,
Yeah.
and you'll see it. New York will be next.
Did you
And
see?
even if there isn't cause, LA will
Mhm.
just feel left out. They don't riot, so they will. I mean, they riot when the Lakers win the championship.
Yeah.
Come on, if
It's
there
like,
is ever a city that would love any excuse to have yet another riot, it's gonna be LA.
yeah.
They just love their riots.
Hey, do you like fighting hard, yelling at people, and being angry for no apparent reason that you have no clue why you're angry for?
LA is the great city for riots. I
That
gotta
in
make
Oakland.
sure. I gotta make sure I know some rooftop Koreans. Gotta be ready.
God.
Gotta be ready. Rooftop Koreans were the only people keeping LA, like keeping LA, reasonably under control during the
LA
during the
riots.
Rodney King.
Oh,
Yeah,
jeez. Yeah. That thing was an entire mess.
yeah, man. Did you see the footage of the um? You could still see footage of the Koreans that like there was a they went I guess the rioters like pulled this guy out of his car
Mm-hmm.
and they were gonna beat down, and the Koreans just full on gangster just show up and just start fucking blasting people.
Yeah.
Like holy
I was
shit!
like,
Like I
what
was
type
like,
of
yeah,
movie is
yeah,
this?
shit got real. You thought you was gangster. Guess
Mm-hmm.
what? You are not gangster. All right.
Yeah.
These guys, there were no F's given before that was even a phrase.
Hey, you wanna know
They did not care.
you wanna know what's funny? Like I was where was I? I was in Okinawa, Japan when that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I didn't get to know about all the weird stuff that was going on during that time period because I was living in Okinawa, Japan at the time.
I
So of course I come back to the United States and people were like, "Oh yeah, the LA riots." I was like, "LA had riots?
dude, that was the
For
most
what?"
that was the most gangster shit I've ever seen in my life though. Like these guys, these rooftop Korean guys were not they weren't young chicken, right? They were not young dudes.
Mhm.
They were they were like middle-aged dudes that just be like, "Oh, you're gonna come riot and you want to take shit from my store?
Yeah.
Well, guess what, dude? There is a whole rooftop of us, and we all look the same, so you'll never identify who shot you."
I mean, they're not wrong.
And they just did like not a single. I don't think anybody filed a single complaint about rooftop Koreans,
Oh no.
right? I remember like there's a, uh, you know, my small group of friends at that time were like, they were like folk hero to us. Like, damn, them rooftop top Koreans, man. They changed the game. People thought they was gonna have a good time rioting and shit,
Jesus.
and then and from the outside it is so stupid because it's like, man, why are you gonna wreck your own community? What's the matter? Like, there's all those people like, yeah, why are you gonna wreck your own community? And the Koreans were like, you are not gonna wreck our community.
Nope. Rightfully so.
They own a lot of stores. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, they do.
They own a lot of stores, and that's not the first time they pulled out their guns
Nope.
to shoot on some would-be robbers.
Yep.
All right, you're talking about some pros here.
Yep.
A lot of amateur league going on during the LA riots. They were not aware of the card-carrying rooftop Koreans.
Mm-hmm. First-time gangsters did not know what was happening.
Shops were looted when shortage toilet paper lately in San Francisco and LA, but the mainstream media do great jobs cover. Yeah, they can't. Well, yeah, I mean, they actually, you saw some footage. I saw some footage of that. Just people walking in and just taking stuff out of.
That's
store.
wrong. Come on, man, pay for that stuff. Everybody
in San
got
Francisco, though, I mean, in the Bay Area, that's not new.
Mm-hmm.
That shit was going on before toilet paper. They were people just straight up
Street looting.
Yeah, well, you could just have crazy people walk in any shop in San Francisco. They're just crazy to start screaming and pull their pants down.
Yep.
And then
no questions asked.
Yeah, I remember because I've my cousin lives up there, and I remember we were having breakfast. We were having breakfast and this guy, there's this dude just casually walking around buck naked in town, just casually walking around, and we're all having breakfast, and we see the guy and like, oh look, there's just a naked guy.
Good morning, sir.
Just naked guy walking around, and
morning, sir.
And the cops, I'm like, well, here come the police, right? And so the cops show up. The police, the cops show up.
They're just like, it's that guy again.
And they don't do anything.
Yep.
The cops showed up to whine at him. Like, would you please think about putting some clothes on? And he was like, no, I'll do what I want. This is San Francisco. I mean, you think about that town. I'd seen
my God-given right.
Dave Chappelle talks about, he had never seen crack smoked so casually.
Yep.
In any place before. He's right.
Yeah.
I see, like in San Francisco, you see people just
smoking weed, smoking crack.
Weed is just like is more is tamer than cigarettes out there.
Basically,
you're smoking weed, but smoking crack is like that's just a Thursday.
Yep, that's their Thursday
they just
job.
Don't even. Like, what the hell? I remember the first time I saw that, I was like, this town is terrifying to me.
San Francisco is a strange place.
There's a lot of cool shit about San Francisco.
Oh,
I
yeah.
really do. There's a lot of stuff I like about San Francisco, but apparently it got worse and worse and worse since the last time. I don't think I'd been up there for maybe almost 10 years since I've been up there. It's been a while.
Yeah.
So it's been a while since I've been up there, but oh wait, hold on. I missed a message, but apparently it's getting worse. Let's see. What? Oh, okay. Never mind. I'll watch that. Nelson sent a video. I'll watch that. It's some sort of shooting video. Pew pew video. I'll watch that.
Yeah, I mean, like, shoot, even Oakland gets strange. I remember being in San Francisco on vacation with my parents. And we were watching the TV, and on the news popped up, need translator for an investigation, must know how to speak Ebonics. I was like, excuse me?
Well,
It's
yeah,
like,
I mean, that's when I remember in the like late '90s
mm-hmm.
when they're saying, yeah, they're teaching Ebonics in schools up in Oakland.
Yeah,
It's a subject up there, and then it became a major. Like you could
yeah.
major in
You could
Ebonics,
major in Ebonics.
and then that's not even a major anymore.
Nope.
What happened to the Ebonics department? What
They
happened
couldn't
to
fund it
what
anymore.
happened to the 4 guys that are PhDs in Ebonics?
Yeah, PhD in Ebonics, baby.
I'm like, you ain't Pootie Tang. He
I'm,
is the only person
I'm the
allowed
hizzy
to
from the
have,
shizzy.
even though he doesn't speak Ebonics. He speaks Jive. Let's be clear.
Yeah, he speaks
He speaks
jive.
Jive. But if anybody would have a PhD in non-English English, it would be Pootie Tang.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh. We got Nelson ranting about San Francisco. You kidding? People are shooting needles big time and just toss them on the street. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But back when I would go up to San Francisco, you'd see it was mostly like you would see homeless people, at least one every block. There, on average, it was like probably between 3 to 5 homeless people on every block, and my cousin basically, well, San Francisco basically public transport everywhere. So you can hop a bus. She
Oh, yeah.
taught me how to get around town. Like she's like, if you need to do, you can hop on the bus, you can hop on the BART, you can do all this other stuff, right? There are all kinds of easy ways to get around town, but anything short of a cab that you were on was gonna have,
One or two.
it's gonna have a handful of homeless people on it. But apparently it's getting worse and worse and worse, right? So now instead of like 3 to 5 homeless people every block, now you're looking at 15. Now you're looking at 20. Then now they're doing smash and grabs on cars, and the weird thing is like I said, the people that I know that live in San Francisco are they used to just be super chill about it, like hey, there's mentally ill people, there's homeless people, there's people that whatever that are here for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
But now they're not. Um, Now it's just it's actually kind of horrible because they're just sort of quietly complacent. But
Yeah.
you can tell that like everything in their bones wants to jump out and scream, like what the fuck is going on now?
Yeah.
Right? But they're not allowed. They've been in they've been in the under that system, under that city for too long, and they're not. Now they're just conditioned not to say anything.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't even they will not ever verbally complain to you, but like you'll see it in their eyes, you'll see it in their faces, like
Mm-hmm.
this is not okay.
No.
And and the problem is it's this enforced silence, this enforced public silence that like you just have to be quiet. That's why I tell everybody I know, the one saying that is going to kill humanity, that will be the end of humanity on earth, is this saying. And you hear it every time I hear it, I'm like, wow, that person is just lost. But when they say, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Worst saying of all time. Worst idiom of all time. That is going to get you killed. That is going to get everybody killed. And that's very much the MO of today. It's like, don't speak out if you don't have anything nice to say. Well, guess what? You want to talk about scenarios, they're not going to be nice scenarios.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be something nice to say. So but no, you have to be in the in order for a society to work, you have to be able to call it out when you see it. And otherwise the least reasonable people win all the time.
True.
Because no one will challenge them, and they know no one will challenge them. It's like, I'm just going to keep, all I have to do is just be the most emotional and least reasonable person, and I'll win every single argument because of that one stupid idiom. Whoever said that, man, I hold them accountable for all this. Like, whoever said that. You want to get mad at Disney? Well, guess what? Nobody's speaking out against Disney. And look at what they're doing. Now that, and then when you have people that do speak out, oh, you're me, you hater, you're a Russian bot or some sort of racist something. Like they will, the only time, I guess, according to the current code, the only time you can go after somebody is if they openly criticize something. That's it. That's all, If hey, I think Disney's pretty shit, and they did a horrible job on Star. You're the most hated person. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything. That's the stupidest garbage ever said. Anyway.
That's funny.
I can't wait for this to dry. What's up, buddy?
I cannot sleep.
I know you can't sleep.
Do you know why?
Why?
The light's not off. I can never sleep with the lights on.
All right. Do you want me to turn off the light? I'm almost done. I'm just waiting for this stuff to dry. I just got to do.
And then could you see my mom?
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna seal your. I'll seal your model. I'll just. It's getting late. Yeah, I'll call the stream here, and then I'll seal your model. But yeah. And then the only thing I have left to do on these guys is I have to. So I'm gonna highlight this. I'm gonna highlight the grass and then put some tufts down and then paint it black when they're done. I like how the tiger came out.
That's okay.
Kind of cool. You like the tiger?
No. Looks good.
Cool, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, let's just call the stream because you gotta go to bed, kiddo. All right. All right, guys. I gotta get going. Thanks everyone for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. Let's do that.